I went to Iran. This is 100% truly based on my personal travel experience and nothing else. Now let's dive into my journey.
From Iranian soil.
Now, Iranian state media.
Iranian attack. Iran launched.
By Iran
Iranian squad.
So before we can go on to dive deep into this video, I wanted to kind of take you back to the beginning of how I left Iran and how old I was. So this is back into when the revolution was beginning. I was around 4 or 5 years old. And before I didn't know, I was too young, what was happening. I could tell that my parents were under a lot of stress. Whenever they watched the news or if there was a protest going on outside, something was going on. Iran was changing and my parents were afraid. So one day they decided that it was time for us to leave. And basically we were told that we have to leave like 90% of our items and kind of pack our most treasured items. And we had no idea if we were ever going to come back or not. And basically leaving and saying goodbye to relatives, we had to pretend that we were going on a vacation. And we couldn't be that sad, even though it was heartbreaking. As I held my grandmother or my grandfather or cousins and said goodbye, I had no idea when would be the next time I would see them or if ever I was going to see them. But it's just not me. A lot of Iranians have left Iran and they've had to start over and fresh. And they might have great and incredible jobs, positions, and they had to start fresh from being a taxi driver, having different types of jobs. Even though they were so educated, but they had to do it. They had to make these sacrifices for their families. There are a lot of different stereotypes that surround the country of Iran, unfortunately. One of the main things is Iranians hate Americans, and that is also not true. Iranian people love Americans. They love America. They want to visit America. They are curious to learn about the Americans. Actually, recently I was in Iran and they get so excited if they find out that you are visiting from America or if you're an American. They just want to talk to you or take a picture or ask you questions, and because they want to come to America, and so they're very curious about it. And they're actually very they love tourists, so they welcome tourists from any parts of the world. From Europe to America, anywhere, with open arms. They really enjoy having people come and visit their country. Another myth is that Iran is a desert. You always see pictures or hear about it in books, and you just see Iran and you imagine desert and camels, no cars, no building. This is not the case. Yes, Iran does have a lot of deserts, but it also has beaches. It also has mountains. It's actually a home for many incredible ski resorts. So it has a very incredible, vast, diverse geography, which makes it an incredible place to visit. And it's very modernized. Actually, many of the places that you go, especially in Tehran, the rooftops make you feel like you're either in Europe or somewhere in New York City. They're really beautiful restaurants serving different cuisines from not just Persian, but all different parts of the world. So as you can see, these were some points that I wanted to just talk about and point out about the different things that you hear about Iran that are really not true. So now you're probably wondering how you can travel to Iran. It's actually pretty simple. There's this, as long as you take those steps, then you can easily travel to Iran. There's actually a famous YouTuber called Drew Binsky who has traveled all over the world, and he has traveled to Iran several times, and he's actually really fond of Iran. So he has had no trouble going to Iran, making a video, being an outside traveler, and actually interviewing people, and it's been an amazing experience for him. Actually, I have next we're gonna talk to my friend Nilu, who was actually one of our travel guides when I traveled to Iran, and she will kind of go over some of the protocols of traveling to Iran. So today we have amazing Nilufar here with us. She was our gracious tour guide for the day in Iran. And I wanted to talk to her a little bit to just get an idea for the people who are watching this video. As far as Americans go, Europeans go, Canadians go, how is life in Iran, and is it safe for them to visit?
First of all, I have to tell you that it's too safe to come here. As you see, everyone is relaxed. If you see the people, nobody is like, you never feel you are in danger. So as an American, if you want to travel to Iran, there are some circumstances. You have to travel on a tour with a tour guide. So you have to apply through an Iranian agency and then get your visa, get you on a tour. And there is one point that you should be on a tour with your tour guide 24 hours. You shouldn't be allowed. So that's the only thing about the American tours. So you can go wherever you want. If you want to go any hotels, restaurants, I don't know, sightseeing is just up to you. You can choose. It's not on the, there's no pressure for the people to choose by themselves. So it's very safe. This is the only thing that you should be on a tour. You should get the visa and just come to Iran because people are really, really, really interested to visit you. I think the best attraction of Iran is not like the Persepolis or the monuments. Historical is people. People really like you. People love to have you here. If you come here, you feel like a celebrity. Everyone wants to have a picture with you. They ask you, where are you from? They want to have you in their home. So just forget what you've seen in media. Just come and see with your eyes. Experience it with yourself, your own soul,
I definitely agree with you. I feel like, being Persian myself, but really leaving here when I was 3 years old, coming back as a visitor, I have felt very welcome. I feel like as long as you follow the rules that they have, especially, there are some certain rules, as you can see with the way where I'm dressed in Iran. You follow the rules and you're respectful. It is safe, and people are nothing but kind and gracious, and the cuisine is amazing. So thank you, Nilufar.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon here.
So I just wanted to kind of show you my gear as I go out about throughout my day. The whole concept for the ladies is that they're not supposed to show any type of body shape. So my ankles need to be covered. There has to be nothing from my legs. I shouldn't show that I have a bosom. There should be no curves. That's why, as you can see, I have no cleavage, and my whole body is covered. Even my wrists are supposed to be covered. So typically, if I would go out, I would kind of cover this like this so that there's no cleavage, and I would cover my hair so that there's no hair showing, and this would be my ensemble. So as I had mentioned, I had a plan, a mission to travel to Iran and take my family and my husband. And so basically we planned it ahead of time, and I had to convince them, but finally they were in for this mission of mine, and we decided to travel to Shiraz first. We had heard that the airport in Shiraz is a lot less intimidating. It's more quiet, less busy. So we thought that would be a best way to kind of enter so that everyone's kind of more relaxed. And that worked out beautifully. So we arrived in Shiraz. We stayed there a couple of days. We booked a tour ahead of time with Amin. And he's incredible. I will leave his information in the notes of this video. And basically we had a driver that picked us up, and he took us everywhere and really gave us a thorough information and history on everything that we saw. We went and saw Persepolis. We saw a lot of different historical sites, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do. So from Shiraz, then we took a road trip, which was great because I really wanted to see Iran, and there was no internet, so the kids could really just focus on the scenery and have conversation. It was just like old school fun, like we used to do. Without all that technology and social media. So from there, from Shiraz, we went to Esfahan. We stayed there a couple of days. We did all the sightseeing there. Then again from there, we had a road trip to Tehran, and we did all the sightseeing things. And throughout this whole time, we did have the same tour company with us that led us and was driving us everywhere, showing us all the main spots and giving us real information and facts about it, which was very educational. Our perspective as a family, I initially had been there before, so I had an idea, but obviously there have been some years that have passed. But my kids' perspective and my husband's perspective really changed throughout this trip. And that was my goal. That was my mission. They realized that Iran is completely different than what they anticipated, what they had seen in social media, what they've read in books back at school. And they just realized that there's you can't really get that feeling unless you go there. Number one, there was so much culture. The food was incredible. We just had incredible food, different restaurants, different cuisines, and not just Persian. I mean, you can get amazing sushi, you can get Chinese food, you can get Japanese food. I mean, they have everything you can imagine, and everything is so modern. You go to these amazing coffee shops that you feel like you're in Europe. And it's like top of the line coffee machines. Everything is incredible. Then there's the rooftop. There's a lot of rooftop restaurants. Beautiful view of all of different locations of Iran. Nice music. They have DJs that play the new generation Americanized, westernized music that my kids just loved. And just overall, they were just in awe of the technology, the modernization. The malls were so modern. I mean, even more modern than here, from the iPads, elevators working with iPads. Everything was very, very updated, and the technology was really, really good. And so they had a different perspective from what they had ever known. Besides all of that, I would say, we were all scared, obviously. I mean, I feel like from traveling to Iran, realistically, the airport can be a little intimidating, especially if it's your first time. And that's why I decided to do Shiraz Airport, because it's a little bit more low-key. Obviously, Tehran is the capital. It's really, really busy. And there's just lots of hustle and bustle going on over there. But the airport can be a little bit intimidating. And besides that, the other thing I think a lot of people are fearful for is the morality police. Yes, they are there. But realistically, throughout the whole time that I was there with my family, we followed the rules. We dressed the way we were supposed to, even though a lot of the people who actually, the locals, the residents who live in Iran, kind of break the rules and kind of go about wearing different things, or crop tops or tighter clothes, and, no hijab. We didn't want to risk anything, so we followed everything exactly the way we were supposed to do. So we really didn't have any issues. Morality police is there, not everywhere. Realistically, they are at the more popular places. Like if you go somewhere that there's a lot of people hanging out, like the hangout spots, the community square centers, the parks, somewhere where that there's going to be a festival or event, they're going to be roaming around there, kind of checking, making sure that people are following the rules and they're dressed appropriately. But that's really it. And the other thing is, yes, in the cars, even with our drivers, we had to make sure we follow the rules and we wear the hijab, because if the window is open and if they're driving by, they're going to pull the driver and they will find the driver, and just different ways. So just like anywhere else, that you travel to, you have to be respectful and follow the rules that's stated to you, that's given to you, so that way you stay out of trouble, and then there's really nothing to fear of, and except just enjoy your time there, get to know the people, get to know the culture, and everyone gets really excited when they hear that you're from, you're an American, and they just want to talk to you and ask you so many questions. So overall, it was just a really good experience. And I really do believe that my family's perspective really changed. I mean, unless you immerse yourself in the culture and go to their actual location, you can't really know what that country's about. So that's that. So next, I'm going to talk with my friend Amin, who is also our tour guide, and I'm going to discuss the daily life in Iran. So stay tuned.
John, this is Amin. I was born in Shiraz. I'm actually active in tourism business in Iran since about 16 years ago. And daily life in Iran is kind of probably different from other countries. I mean, it has different aspects, but right now, that economical pressures and different problems that we have in the country. So make it a little bit different, but still Iranian try to keep going, and as well they're trying to make the life as happy as it's possible. So me too, like other Iranian, that I try always my best to bring happiness to myself and of course my family.
Good. I've noticed that it's like with the Iranian culture, people, as long as they're together and they have good food, good family, that's what keeps them happy. That gives them energy. So I think that's a biggest part of the Iranian culture, which I really love.
Right. And family concept is still very important. Relatives. I'm not sure if in other parts of the world it's still regularly you meet your grandparents, you meet your uncle and aunts, but in Iran still we do that. Hopefully we keep doing that, because that modernity also affects our society, but still this is something important in our culture and society, and being together help I can say that even forget the problems that you have for that period that you are with your family or your relatives. So this is something very important in our culture and society, and I really hope the younger generation also keep this going on.
I totally agree with you. Now, what is a work life like in Iran? Because I did notice, like, if we wanted to run some errands or do things are closed at different hours of the day, which we're not used to in different countries. So I feel like in a way it's actually good, because Iranians work very hard, but at the same time, they make sure that they make that time of the day where if they need to have a meal with their family, if they need to rest, that is priority for them. So if you can kind of, touch on that a little bit.
Of course, this is different. For different companies, places, and for example, let's say shopkeepers, companies and organizations, they have their set working time, which is from, let's say, 7:30 to 2:30, 3 o'clock, or from 9 to 4. But there is a different story for example, bazaars and shops and etc., especially in southern part of Iran, where I'm from, southwest Shiraz. Because of the hot summers, since olden time, we have had siesta time. So usually around 1 o'clock, especially shopkeepers, they close the shops, they go home, have lunch with their family, rest a little bit, and come back to reopen the shops around, let's say, 5 o'clock. So the period between 1:30 to 5 o'clock is the siesta time. And we have a famous saying in Iran, in Shiraz, that I'm from Shiraz. So that's a famous saying that you live to enjoy your life, and you actually work for your life to be better. You don't live, you don't actually leave to work, you know. So that's a Shirazi concept, and Shirazi people always respect this. So as soon as they get tired, they just close the shops or the business, and they try to enjoy their time going
I think
outside the city. Yeah.
that's a great way to live. And the other thing I noticed, I feel like I'm an old lady here because people party late. I mean, the restaurants are packed late at night. Everything is open late, and it's like it's way past my bedtime.
No, of course you're not old. That's, I mean, the lifestyle different here. Yeah, you're right. So when, for example, in Shiraz, people come back to work again at 5 o'clock, they keep the shops open till late because many people also come to the bazaars or come, that to do shopping late in the afternoon. And so, you probably have seen yourself, as you said. So shops are open till late, even, that around 11 o'clock. And the restaurants serving food till midnight, even after midnight, they are active. And you can see restaurants are busier after 9, 10 o'clock.
It feels like a little bit of the lifestyle of the Europeans, like Italians in Europe. It's like they like to
Southern Europe,
start the day later, and then they go on and they have energy throughout the evening. That's the feeling that I got, that's what it reminded me of, which I loved. So what do you like the most about living in Iran? If someone was going to tell you, like, what is your favorite thing about your country?
So there are several things, but the first thing is, that what I love a lot about Iran, first of all, is, what we talk about the family concept. The second thing, that we are one of the oldest known civilization, and this is what most of Iranians are proud of. That, and the food, of course, Iranian cuisine and the food is another thing that I love a lot about Iran.
Yes, certainly. I completely agree with you. Now, what do you think? Well, I guess we've actually touched a lot about it because my next question was, what do you think Iranians value most in life? And I do agree, it is family. Family is the number one thing. People do anything for each other, and they're very close-knit, and all the cousins know each other, and they know the grandparents, and seeing your family on a regular basis is a part of normal of life, where in a lot of parts of the world, life is so busy that sometimes, like for myself, I have to figure out, I haven't seen my mom, she might live half an hour away, but I haven't seen her for 2 weeks. I have to make sure to go see her. But here, it's not like that. It's like everyone sees each other as much as they can, and on a regular basis, because that's really, really priority for them. And you said you touched on this too, because my next question was, what are you most proud of? So is it the rich culture and the incredible history of Iran as well?
As I told you, the country, Iran is one of the oldest civilizations. So whenever you talk to Iranian, they are very proud of the history. But from my point of view, I think that in order to progress, we have to have a look on the history, but also we have to look forward, to the future. Exactly, because just being stuck to the ancient history, it doesn't help you that much. Look at the countries in the Arab countries around the Gulf, around the Persian Gulf, how fast they are improving. And I think we have to do the same thing. Iranians should always consider the ancient history, but we have to progress, that faster.
Well, Iranians are very intelligent people. So if we can put all that together, we can do incredible things, right? So, from the last time that I came to Iran, which was 10 years ago, I've seen a huge progression in everything as far as buildings, streets, restaurants. Everything has advanced a lot. We still have ways to go, but there's been a lot of improvements in that regards.
You're right. Yes.
So the other thing I have noticed,
but it can be better.
Yes, of course. Always room for improvement. Now, the other thing I noticed too is that I'm sure we have homeless people here, but you don't. I think I asked you this earlier too. I mean, homeless problem has become so drastic in all parts of the world. And it's really bad, especially after COVID in the United States. And they're everywhere. It doesn't matter what neighborhood, if you're in an affluent neighborhood, if you're not in an affluent neighborhood, they are everywhere. So I was kind of surprised that here, I went to travel to 3 different cities, and I have to say maybe a total of 6, 7 people, or maybe in touristy places, they would come and try to beg for something or try to get you to buy like a pack of gum. But besides that, I didn't really see that many. So are they there, or are they kind of pushed in some certain neighborhoods, or are they getting help?
That you're right. As compared to other countries, the number of homeless people are less here. Definitely we cannot ignore the fact that there are homeless people. And as you mentioned, even here in Iran after COVID, the number of, the beggars and homeless people, we can definitely see that it's more than before. But the reason probably that we don't see them that much is, they are isolated to some special, neighborhood. And of course, there are charities. Charities that they are owned by people themselves, private charities. We have the state charities, but in this case, I think private charities are more active, and they do much better in order to organize some of these poor people, help them. And the other thing that I've personally have seen that and experienced that is the Iranian pride don't let, even if somebody is poor, go and beg. So lots of the beggars that you can see right now, in the street, they are not that many, but those that you can see are mostly, immigrants from other countries, because we have a big number of, the immigrants from other countries. So that can be another reason that you don't see that many homeless in Iran. Okay,
that makes sense. That's good that there's all these charities though that are trying to help them. Now, as everyone can hear, your English is incredible. You speak fluent English. So how is it that you know how to speak so well, and do most Iranians speak English?
Big cities and younger generation, there are more and more Iranians, boys and girls, that they are learning English, other languages, even French, German, Chinese right now, other different
classes,
languages.
Or is it like a private class?
Just to give you the idea, we start learning English at a school as an international language, but it just limited to basic grammar. That's not that you can learn to speak. So there are private institute and classes. So students that they are, whoever who is interested can join any of these institute or schools, and they can learn different languages. And it's becoming more popular in Iran that families want their children to learn foreign language, that as early as it's possible.
Okay, well, that's really good. You speak great English. I just have to say, I met Amin. He was our incredible tour guide, and I've learned so much about Iran. I have a totally different perspective, and I'm excited to have another new friend in Iran. He's very knowledgeable tour guide. He speaks fluent English, as we can see. But the greatest thing that I loved is that you have this incredible passion that I can tell when you speak about the rich history of Iran. It really comes out, and it's contagious. So I really respect you for that. And I feel like, I had 3 kids that I brought with me that have never been to Iran, and they didn't know what to expect. But just by learning you talk about the history and doing the tour, we learned a lot, and we really appreciate it. And overall, for me, I just feel like everywhere that I went in Iran, we have an incredible history. We have so much room for improvement, and I hope that we keep growing and improving. But the people, the Iranian people, are really, really gracious, and they love people. They love guests. Like, everywhere I went, I could hear like, oh, are they from America? And they wanted to come and say hello, or just really, really giving, and their hospitality is really kind, and they really go out of their way to make you feel welcome and very respectful. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, first of all, it was my pleasure, and I'm happy that that I really liked the tour, and especially I was really impressed by how interested your kids were about Iran and Iranian history. It's definitely because of you and dear woman, and that it was really, really impressive for me. And Iranian are really, really hospitable, and they love seeing that foreigners visiting Iran. So I really hope that situation gets better in Iran politically and economically, so we can get more and more travelers from all around the world to come and visit this beautiful country, and to learn more about the amazing history and culture we have here in Iran.
I do too. I will add your information on this link, and so that people can get a hold of you, and hopefully
thank you.
There will be a better future for Iran. That's all we can pray for. Thank you so much.
I hope so.
So I decided after all of this that I was going to interview my daughter. I have 3 kids, as I've mentioned before. So my middle daughter is 17 years old, and I'm going to talk to her about her experience, because before we went on the trip, all 3 of my kids, especially my older daughters, were very skeptical, very nervous for the right reasons, with all the news and media that they were hearing, and just everything that they've always heard about the image of Iran, which is very unfortunate. That it's not portrayed the way that it really is. Obviously, just like many other parts of the world, there are a lot of ups and downs, and many things happen. But the picture and the message that they were always getting from people that would talk to them, or from the media, or from the news, was depicted as a very hard picture of a society of people that were difficult to deal with, and it was a scary environment for the entire of Iran. And so when I pushed them and talked to them, and I said, we're going to take this trip, this adventure, they were scared. But after the trip, I had a sit-down one-on-one interview with one of my daughters to kind of get an idea to see, did she think differently now that she has actually experienced Iran, and actually saw it for herself, because it's different. Until you actually experience a culture, experience a country, get to know the people, get to know the setting that you're in, you're not going to be able to actually judge or find the real value of the area. And I felt like after her going on this trip, that I would think that she would have a different idea of what Iran is all about. So I'm going to sit down and have a talk with her to get her perspective on our trip to Iran. So today I'm interviewing my daughter Isabella. She's 16 and a half years old. She is born in the United States, and she's a U.S. citizen. When I actually brought up the idea of doing a family trip to Iran, she was a little skeptical. All 3 of my kids were skeptical, obviously, with everything that's going on in the world. The social media doesn't help. The news doesn't help. They were all pretty scared and afraid, and quite not sure what to expect. So I wanted to take this opportunity, after we have finalized our trip, we have completed it, just to talk to her and see what she thinks now, and what she can share with us, so that we can learn from her.
Okay, so going to Iran was honestly like an eye-opening experience, and I'm really happy that I went, and I don't regret going at all. I mean, in the beginning, I honestly didn't want to go. I was like, Mom, you can go without me. Like, I don't want to go on this trip. But like, honestly, going and seeing my family there that I haven't met before was just truly a great experience. But not just seeing my family, but seeing Iran and the people there and like my culture and everything was just something I'll always take with me. And I can see myself visiting again. I don't even think it was that bad. I mean, I don't know.
Would you say you were scared?
I would say a little bit at a few times. I mean, the clothing's a lot different than what I wear here, so that was a little bit harder. And I mean, seeing like the police and like all that, like in the airport and all that was a little bit scary because of everything I've heard. But I never once was like so scared. Like I thought like my life was on the line or like something really bad was gonna happen, which I didn't think like at the time before going to Iran. I did think that was gonna happen. And like it wasn't like that at all. Like it's not like a life-threatening experience to travel there. Like, you're fine.
So I would say, I mean, the biggest thing was the morality police, because it's difficult when you're used to kind of being allowed to wear whatever you want, like you are in the United States, to all of a sudden have rules and regulations as a female. And if you've never experienced that before, it is a little challenging, especially in the very hot weather. So I would say that was the biggest complication for the girls, because every time we had to remind them that they need to cover and use their hijab. But besides that, as long as you follow the rules, we didn't really feel anything else. Everything was kind of normal. The restaurants were fun and happening, and they had music, and the food was great. And I don't know anything else that you want to add on. I mean, you saw other kids your age there. What would you think about that? Like, how were their lives different than the life that you have here, and how were they so much the same as you?
I mean, different in the fact that they don't have, like, the girls don't know any better. They don't know that how fortunate I am where I live, that I can have the freedom to wear what I want, do what I want, pursue a career. I mean, I feel like it's a lot harder in Iran than it is here, and that kind of breaks my heart because I'm so lucky that I got to live in America and grow up and become who I want to be. But I would say we are the same in the sense that, like, with our culture and, like, I feel like, I mean, I like being Persian. I think they like being Persian, but when it comes to, like, the religion and the rules in Iran and everything that they have to follow, I mean, it does break my heart a little bit that, I have to see little girls, like, younger than me wear a hijab, be covered head to toe, and, like, not being able to experience what I get to experience.
It is difficult. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, I feel like we realize that we are all the same. No matter where you travel in the world, we are all the same people. We might look different. We might have different religions. We might have to follow different rules and regulations based on where we live. But at the same time, it's a small world, really, and we all are really the same people, wanting the same things in life, which is just happiness, safety, and good health, and just lots of love and people around us. So that was my biggest takeaway, which I feel like my family felt the same way. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
Of course.
Thank you.
So here we are, coming to the final part of the Iran video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and your perspective has changed on the people of Iran as well as Iran as a country. I'm truly hopeful for the day that the people of Iran can have the basic rights, of the same rights of all the people in the world. I have witnessed the joys of the young people, their passions, their joy of life, and they're seeing how excited and determined they are to pursue their dreams and do something with their lives. And I just pray that one day, along with Iran and all the people in the world, they will all get the humanitarian rights that they deserve, so that these young people everywhere can have the right and the right way of life to pursue their dreams and passions like every one of us around this world. I support and stand everyone around the world to get these humanitarian rights that they really, I believe that they deserve. This has been truly a wonderful journey of traveling to Iran, experiencing it from a different perspective, and teaching my kids, my family, as well as everyone else who watches this video. And I hope it's been a great journey for you as well. Please express any opinions you have in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video.